What is force? Force is any action or influence that accelerates an object. It is a vector quantity, which means that it has both direction and magnitude. When several forces act on an object, the forces can be combined to give a net force. The net force acting on an object, the mass of the object, and the acceleration of the object are all related to each other by Newton's second law of motion, named after the English physicist and mathematician Isaac Newton. The second law of motion states that the acceleration an object experiences A multiplied by the mass of the object m is equal to the net force acting on an object F. That is, force is equal to mass into acceleration, or F is equal to m into A. Thus, if a given force acts on two objects of different mass, the object with a larger mass will have a lower acceleration. An object experiences a force when it is pushed or pulled by another object. For example, shoving a stationary shopping cart applies a force that causes the shopping cart to accelerate. An object can also experience a force because of the influence of a field. For example, a dropped ball accelerates towards the ground because of the presence of the gravitational field. Electrical charges attract or repel each other because of the presence of an electric field. Usually, several forces act on an object at once. If multiple forces combine to give a net force that is 0, then the object will not accelerate. The object will either remain motionless or continue moving at a constant velocity. For example, if a person pushes a shopping cart with a force equal in magnitude to the force of friction that opposes the cart's motion, the forces will cancel, giving a net force of 0. As a result, the cart will move with a constant velocity. If the person suddenly stops pushing the cart, the only force acting on the cart is the frictional force. Since the net force is no longer 0, the cart accelerates and its velocity drops to 0. In the International System of Units, the unit of force is the Newton, which is the force that imparts an acceleration of 1 meter per second square to an object of mass 1 kg. Forces are part of everyday life, with examples such as gravitational force, the force of attraction between all masses in the universe, especially the attraction of the Earth's mass for bodies near its surface. Frictional force, the resistance encountered when one body is moved in contact with another. Electromagnetic force, it is a combination of electric and magnetic forces. It is the force resulting from the interaction of charged particles and their electric and magnetic fields. Nuclear force, a fundamental force between elementary particles that is responsible for binding protons and neutrons together in an atomic nucleus and other interactions between elementary particles. Buoyant force, that property of an object that enables it to float on the surface of a liquid or ascend through and remain freely suspended in a compressible fluid. Centripetal force, the inward force on a body moving in a curved path around another body. Centrifugal force, the outward force on a body moving in a curved path around another body. The actual number of forces are varied and many in number.